I don't think the problem is women keeping their legs closed, or or nor I don't think the problem is um, we having babies. I think the main problems that we have allowed systems into our families, and within those systems, they instigated the men, the women, including the children, against each other. I think that's the core problem. Because women been busting their legs open way before these systems came about, and we never had these issues. So we can't take the way y'all trying to make us operate. Sadly to say, is in a form of damn near oppression. You saying that I can't have sex with this woman, and you telling that woman she shouldn't have sex with me. Some that God put us on the planet. That's the core reason why we are here today, by God, not by the system, not by policies, but by God. I thought if y'all sitting up here saying that God is above man, y'all sure giving man too much authority over y'all. God put us on this planet to reproduce. You got people that's in their 40s and 30s and 50s never had children because of what another man and what society done deemed was wrong. They actually believe that they did something correct. That's not correct of not reproducing. That is not correct. Who told you that? I think women should continue to keep them legs open. I think men should continue to keep their dick out. The problem that we need to kick out the black experience is these systems that's in place, making it harder, difficult for the man, and propping up the women, basically turning us men against our women and turning our women against us. Because the only reason why we having these conversations, let's boil it down to the core problem, the roots. The only reason we having these conversations because the government gave policy to one gender for them to use to manipulate the whole situation. If you remove the government policies, none of these conversations would even exist. I won't care how much fucking we doing, how many kids that we are having. And back to the top, I want to say with the toxicity, y'all make it seem as though being toxic is not positive within toxic. I guarantee you, everybody on this panel, everybody that's on this panel, don't listen to, when you think of music, they don't listen to all positive music. When they watch movies, they don't watch all positive movies. When they think of whatever, you don't go to church. And here go another thing. If y'all want positivity, how come them churches getting emptier and emptier? You know what's be packed? The clubs, the bars, the lounges. You know what people mainly listen to? Not gospel music, because I guarantee you, we might listen to gospel music on Sunday when we cleaning up. But come Monday all the way through Saturday, you listen to Back That Ass Up. And you twerking, even if you in the room by yourself. All of these women and all of these people on here done listen to some toxic music and watch some toxic episodes. You might watch First 48.
They're not denying it. They're not denying it.
But here go the thing. I'm just letting him get his point out.
Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. Y'all don't sit up here and watch the preachers shows that come on. Now they got preachers that's preaching on the internet. And I guarantee you, out of 100% of people, 80% of people is not watching that junk. They watching the stuff that will be deemed as toxic. So what I believe that the reason why we're attracted to the toxicity, I've always believed that we operate like a battery. You got your positive and you need your negative. Your positive stuff is every blue moon, that make you feel good. You want to reward and stuff. I'm not saying being totally pessimistic. I'm not saying any of that. But, you got your positive stuff and all this other type of stuff. But also You need your negative, the negative stuff that happened to me out of my life. The positive stuff that happened to me, those are my rewards. Those are my blessings. Those are my prosperities. The negative stuff that happened to me out of my life brought me character, brought me wisdom, helped me to understand knowledge, and gave me a personality, and gave me strength to appreciate the positive prosperities that God gonna bless as a reward. So all of it can't nobody just be straight 100% positive. A lot of y'all might think y'all positive and you not, just by the music and the movies that you endure, your favorite television show, your favorite music, or whatever. If you see it walking down the street, you see it fight down the street, I guarantee you're not just gonna keep driving. A lot of people gonna pull over and look because it's entertainment. If you watch boxing, that's damn near the same thing. Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
So I agree with you. I think there needs to be balance, and I think when we were talking about the toxicity, it was more so to acknowledge that things are out of balance. There isn't as much positivity, and the negativity far outweighs the positivity. So I love the battery analogy. Kudos to you. I'm going to borrow that. So I'm giving you your shout out now. But I want to go back to what you said earlier. I don't know how you could have the conversation about God put us on this earth to procreate when it's the same God that said to do it within the confines of marriage. And the system that existed before is that if you had a child out of wedlock, that woman and that child would be forever shamed because of that. Like, those were the social repercussions to both. There was shame for the man for having a bastard child, which is what they were called. And there was shame for the woman also for opening up her knees to a man that was not her husband. So don't know why you're making this conversation of just like,
I'm glad you stated that. I'm glad you stated that. Let me first start off by saying this. I know a lot of times when we having this conversation, we revert back to Christianity and the Holy Bible, and we think, hold on, let me finish. We think that the Holy Bible is the end all be all answers to life. What I believe, God worked through me and gave us answers through our essence, our nature. I'm quite sure every man that you done been with sexually, it wasn't a force. Somehow you got turned on, and it wasn't that Bible that turned you on. It was something in your nature what got you moist. The same with the men that got being hard. So what I believe in, I believe when you don't need no book to understand how God is speaking to you. If you really know God, if you really connected with God, you won't need no book. I don't need no book to tell me not to delete my mama, delete my children, or beat women, whatever the case. It's written in our essence. Our essence, our guilty conscience, our know not to do something that's totally wrong, is already written. I don't need a book to tell me what's right for wrong. God gave us that. So hold on, let me say this. If we really connected to God and stuff like that, if I didn't make my body operate that it operates, and nor do you, and can't no book tell us the difference. So if I'm seeing a woman, if I see you down the street, and I'm walking down the street, we get a connection. That connection didn't come from that book. You know where that connection came from God. Because I done walked past a million other women before I got to you. But somehow I stopped at you and you stopped at me because you done been through 3 million men before me. And we had a connection, we had a vibe. And that vibe don't just come by reading no damn book.
So I hear you, right? And I'm not Christian, so I don't believe in the Bible. I have a different faith.
So where did you get this? Where did you get this concept?
I'm
Muslim system from? Because that's just a belief. It's not a fact.
Agreed.
We construe beliefs and facts.
Let me just get this out, right? Because I was respectful when you were speaking.
Go ahead.
So I'm Muslim, so that's my belief system. I follow the Quran. But if we're going to go to nature, right? If we're going to talk about nature, there are even animals, right? Animals who only follow their base instinct that still have lifelong partnerships. They pair up with a mate and for the rest of their lives. It's not every animal that's out here procreating with the same, like just whatever that they can stick it in, right? So if we're going to talk about nature and the way that bodies function and the natural essence of a human being, are we forgetting the fact that like we were created with reason, that we were created with rationality, that we were created with free will, that we were created with decision? Animals don't have that, and yet some of them will still procreate with only one partner that they've committed to.